We're going to start our mouth section with a assessment just to see where our masses and spaces are. Lay down and give yourself the opportunity, just settle in. Don't try to fuss or fix, just be in your space. Allow yourself to start noticing where your masses hit, the larger areas, your head, your shoulders, your hips, your calves, your heels, and then those spaces in between. And then we'll work through this map, which is going to be primarily a lower body map to focus in on the calves, the hamstrings, the hips, to ideally bring more hydration back up towards the head and release stress and tension throughout the entire body. That's good. Go ahead and lay back on your mat. And just give yourself a minute or a moment as you settle in. And then extending one leg, then the other. Let your arms drop away from your midline. And then if it's comfortable or as it's comfortable, give yourself the opportunity to just settle in. Listening to what's going on, not just in your mind, but in your physical body. Feeling the weight of your body settle into the floor. And just begin to notice your masses and spaces. If it's more comfortable for you, go ahead and close your eyes. And you may notice, even as we're doing this, the body settling more. The body feeling like it's elongating as it's touching the floor, or not resisting the floor itself. Notice your head. Ideally, you should feel the weight of your head behind about the bridge of your nose. If we have stuck stress in our body, we may feel that that head is tipped in or tilted to one side, or maybe hard for us to even realize. Have somebody maybe take a picture of you when you're just laying down. And sometimes we see our head all turned off to a side, and we don't even know that when we're laying there. That is a specific sign that you are in consistent and constant sympathetic nervous system, or your fight or flight. Take a deep breath. And take your attention to the mass of the shoulders, down into the arms, and as low as about the rib cage, just below the sternum. Ideally, each arm should feel evenly weighted to the ground. Rib cage should feel settled into the floor. And you shouldn't feel like you're sitting on your bones. Ideally, if you do feel that way or feel indifferent to that, you may notice that your back feels tense or stressed, and that could be a sign that you have stuck stress living in your shoulders and or your neck. Take a deep breath. Notice the space between your rib cage and your belly button, if it feels high or if it feels off position. Ideally, you should be neutral or settled into the floor from your rib cage to your belly button with a small space between your belly button and your pelvis. Taking your attention now to your hips, notice the weight of your hips, each individual one, if it's settled in and balanced. Ideally, you should feel your hips evenly weighted, your hamstrings touching the ground, the calves and the heels as well, evenly weighted and about the same shape and size. In these masses, if you feel uneven or more weight is on one side than the other, you may have some stuck stress living in your pelvis or even in your diaphragm or above that area. And then divide the body into two equal halves, a whole right side and a whole left side. And notice if one side feels longer than the other. Or even just laying here if you just feel disorganized. That's your autopilot or your reflexive balance, not supporting you as it naturally should. Your autopilot is what balances you when you're not paying attention. Let's take 4 cycle breaths. We're going to inhale for 4, hold for the count of 7, and then exhale slowly for the count of 8. Beginning, inhale for 4. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 4. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Two, and again, inhale for 4. Hold for 7. Exhale, 8. One more inhale for 4. Hold for 7. Exhale. Take a nice long deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in a system like that can help bring you more into your parasympathetic or your rest or vagus nerve centered movements, giving you a sense of more ease and restoration, and allowing your body to not try to fight each movement. Let's begin with taking your, I'm using a performance roller today. If you have a longer roller, ideally you're using a melt roller, but if you have a more standard roller, the white or the black, you can use that as well. Just work on always finding, you want to work on not working on pressure and tension, but really looking to find balance on your movement. You don't want to work into pain. You want to find ease in the movement. As I'm pressing out with a little bit more pressure, so I'm looking for tolerable pressure, as well as moving the weight just naturally in and out, not forcefully or pushing or pulling. Notice my feet are relaxed. If the roller begins to kind of ease its way up, just give yourself just a readjustment with that roller. Tip your knees both to the left. So you'll be on the outer part of your left calf and on the inner part of your right. And then let's go to the right. Same, just pull and press just enough to find that tolerable pressure in the back of the leg. And then we're going to make a circle. You may notice some lumps or bumps in those calves. These are indicators of just some stress and tension, maybe built up from dehydration or from activity that you've been doing. And then let's roll in the other direction. So knees up and over. Good. Go ahead and pause. And then you're going to push and pull, kind of like a little cat is kneading. So on the performance roller will push a little bit. So I have to find that balance of movement. Try not to overdo one leg while the other leg is kind of still. I can drop my knees slightly to the left again, getting the outer and inner part of the calf a little bit, and then drop my knees to the right. Cat loves to be part of the show, and then bring my legs center. Let's just roll the ankles where we're at. You can roll your ankles, turn both legs to your left, and then roll your ankles as you turn both legs to your right. And then pause. Let's cross the right ankle over the left and do the same movement, but just on one leg, using that right leg as a little bit of a counter pressure for that left calf. Remember, the calves are a pump. They actually help push the blood back to the heart. So if you're having difficulty swelling, pressure, tension in the calves, that's a lot of work, more work for the heart to bring the blood back to it. Tip your legs to the left. Bring your knee into the right. And so again, we don't want to add undue pressure. The calves can take on a tremendous amount of load. They obviously can take on your whole body weight and the force of running. Pause, and then just kind of tilt your knee in and out. Notice again, my lower foot is relaxed, and then pause, and then roll the bottom ankle. You might even bump up against the lateral side or the sciatic nerve line, no problem. Move away from it if you need to. And pause. Always pausing after shearing to give the tissue a chance to respond, and then let's go to the other side. So this is a gliding technique that's up and down. Kind of like similar in a massage, you'd have a gliding movement. The arms would move up and down. Try to keep the pressure, pushing in, releasing the pressure, pushing in, releasing the pressure, but trying to keep all the push pressure as consistent as possible. Turn the knee in just a little bit towards your inside line. Continue to breathe. And then let's just tick-tock back and forth. And again, you may fall some more specifically lumps and bumps on the leg. That's okay. We're right where the soleus meets the gastrocnemius. So there's some bundling of those two muscles right there. Go ahead and pause and then roll the lower ankle. Again, you may be pushing up against the sciatic nerve line or another nerve. If you are, move away from it. If it's uncomfortable, remember, we're always looking for tolerable pressure. And then pause. Let's take both legs off. Just let your legs respond. Roll both legs. And then pause again. Let's take that roller. We're going to go past the hamstrings. So we're going to go all the way up to the glutes. So your hips are right on top of the roller. Ideally, you want your pelvis level. As you can, you want to notice if your lower back is dropped in or overarched. That could be a placement of the roller problem. You want to be able to reach down and touch the bottom of your glutes here, and they should be off the roller. As well as if you find your iliac crest, put your index finger on it and slide the heel of your hand under, you should be able to kind of have the roller be below your thumb. When you bring your right knee and left knee up, ideally your knees can stay vertical right over your hips without feeling like you have to tuck or your arch to stay on the roller. From here, you're going to begin to tuck and tilt the pelvis. You can place your hands on your pelvis or on your rib wall. The nice thing about the performance roller is really just the fact that it is a little bit smaller, so it's a little more accessible for movement and for travel, of course. Feel that pelvis tuck and tilt. Ideally, you should have some good movement there. You want to have a stable pelvis. This is going to support your lower back. This is going to support your rib cage. This is going to support your walking. And without it putting too much undue pressure if it's not nice and stable. Go ahead and pause, bring both knees together, and let's begin the SI shear. So as I'm circling around, being aware that you're not dropping your knees in big swinging motions. We're staying right towards the center of the pelvis. You can add your breath. Breath helps with tension. It helps with support and control. And of course, our breath helps release any kind of internal breakdown of tissue, just like our sweat glands and just like our elimination can help with as well. One more time. And then pause. Hold right there. This time you're going to place your hands on your knees and try that tuck and tilt again. This could be easier at this point now because you've now stabilized the pelvis, bringing in some hydration in the tissue. One more time. Pause. Bring your hands to your side. Let's do a side tilt. So I'm taking my knees both to my left, keeping my knees as level as I can. Right hip is off the roller. And I'm just rolling on my left side. Be aware of not arching your back or moving too quickly. Give yourself that opportunity to breathe. And then pause. Hold. And then let's bring ourselves back to center. And we're going to come over to the right. So lift from your left hip. Move to your right glute. Left glute is off the roller. And you can circle your knees clockwise or counterclockwise or both if you want. It's nice to have a fan with you while you're working out. Good, and then go ahead and pause on that side, bring those knees back to center. Good, and then we're gonna you can either take your hands to your knees or hands to the roller, and we're gonna do that tuck and tilt again, hands to your belly. So notice I'm not trying to arch my ribs. I'm really allowing my pelvis to do the work. Little disassociation between my upper and my lower body. One more time, and pause. Let's drop the feet at the same time, lift the hips up, and let's take and do a real quick reassess of our lower body. So as we started, we noticed our head, our shoulders, our rib cage, but directly, how does your hips feel? How do your hips feel like they're sinking into the ground? Do they feel a little bit more steady into the floor, a little more grounded, hamstrings, calves, and feet? And then as far as your upper body, so we notice the upper body, but how does the upper body feel in comparison? Do you feel more level to the ground? Even though we worked specifically on the lower body, how's the head feel now in comparison as well? Take a nice deep breath. And we're going to take those, we're going to go right underneath the back of the leg. So at the hamstring, about middle of the leg, below the glutes, but above the knees. And we're going to begin with that back of thigh shear. So a shearing pattern is simply a cross frictioning pattern. So notice I'm not moving my legs on and off the roller. I'm moving my legs on the roller and slightly twisting the tissue as I move against the movement of the roller. And then I'm pinning that skin. It's kind of like when you move your skin on your forearm or your hand back and forth. Again, you're connecting right into that sciatic nerve line, giving it a little bit of love and a little bit of release. And then pause. Just moving your right foot back and forth. Whichever leg you move, it doesn't matter particularly if you move the right or left leg first. I tend to try to alternate it or go away from the leg that's maybe bothering me more. So if I've had tenderness or pain, which I'm not experiencing right now, on one leg, I do start with the other leg just to give that one leg a little bit more opportunity to rest. And then pause. Remember, what we do to the right side of the body affects the left. What we do to the outside of the body affects the inside. So you could start on your right sciatic nerve, your right hamstring, and it will affect the left side. It's a little more indirect, but it gives that left side a chance to rest. And then pause. Good. Let's take your feet in, and then we're going to go right back up onto those hips again. Find that spot on those hips. Hey, kitty cat. Find that spot on those hips. Make sure you're in the right position. Right knee and left knee up. Pause just for a moment. You can hold the roller, and we're going to slide the hands up to the top of the knees. Put some pressure. You're pressing in with your knees as you press out with your arms. Be aware to keep your elbows straight. As I press in, I'm going to release one leg, just touch the ground and come back up, meet the pressure again. Lower the other leg and meet the pressure again. Trying to find and stabilize with some muscular tension my pelvis, which will also help stabilize my back. If you're having back issues, lower back, SI joint, this is a great reset for that. Easy pressure. Watch the shoulders aren't shrugging. One more. Each leg. And then we're going to go back to that tuck and tilt again. See if that's a little easier now, even still. Good. And pause. Let's lower the left leg down, cross the right leg over for figure 4 stretch. Keep the pelvis nice and level. Take your right hand, slide your right hand up to your right knee, and just give a gentle pressure. Obviously, your hand doesn't reach much further, so you can't give a lot of pressure, but it does give that movement intentional to press outward. So the hip is actually rotating in as the knee is rotating out. And then I got my left hand, just as a reminder, on my left hip, just to kind of move in opposition as well. Take a deep breath. Hold the tension on your right thigh. Bring your left knee in. Take your left hand, hold your right ankle, and you're going to press up and away as you push your left knee in. Relax. Watch the right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Keep that pelvis level on the roller. Exhale. Press up and away as you press your left knee in. We're looking for length and openness in the hip. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Let the left foot unlace the right. Let's take the left ankle over the right leg. And again, settle. You want to try to keep the pelvis level. Try not to tuck as we traditionally or a lot of times will when you're doing a figure 4 stretch on the ground. You want this length here. So find that space, press out and away. Hold back if you want with your right hand on your right hip. Bring your knee up. Push in with your right leg as you press up and away with your left. Right hand on left ankle. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Relax this right foot so it's not internally or externally rotating. Exhale. Push in with that right knee. Press out with that left hand. And relax. Right foot and left come off. We're going to bring the right knee and left knee on one more time. We're rechecking that pelvis. See if you've got some nice even motion. Feels a little bit more open in that groin, that hip line right there. Let the knees pause and then drop both knees into your chest. Just kind of feel how the weight of your knees drops in. It's a nice simple stretch of your lower back. Wouldn't get too aggressive with it. We're going to do what's called a drawbridge. You're going to take your hand underneath your right knee and you're going to extend your left leg to the sky. No hard flexion or pointing. Inhale. You're tucked right here. We're going to move to a place where you're going to maintain the tuck and then we're going to reacquire the tilt. Which is, so we're going to see how we're tucked in right here. You're going to take your left leg. My pelvis is tucked. My left arm will go over my head in line with my ear. Watch that the left leg doesn't hang and pull you into a tilt on the roller. Breathing, hold. Take a deep breath. You're going to pull your right knee in, reach through your left side, and look over your right shoulder. Take a deep breath in again. Exhale, and tuck your pelvis. Tuck, 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 tuck. Reach, 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 reach. Pull, pull, pull. Bring your head center. Bring your arm and your leg center. Just let your knees drop again. This is a great way to find the movement of that psoas. Bring your left hand underneath your left knee. Right foot goes to the sky. Remember, you're elongating the right side as you're contracting the left side. Pull the left knee in. Watch the tuck here. Take your right arm overhead. As you exhale, you're going to turn your head to your left. Inhale and tuck your pelvis. Exhale. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Tuck more. Reach, 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 reach. Pull, pull, pull. And then come back to center. Bring those knees in. And if you even notice, when you look through your legs, your feet should really line up here. This is a great leveler, even out for the pelvis. Drop your right foot and left foot, and let's reassess. Take your hips off the roller and back down. Body's nice and long on the ground, so you're not touching anything, and you're just feeling your body lay level on the ground. Let's reassess again. Head weight, hopefully ideally behind the bridge of the nose. Shoulders, do they feel more level, more evenly weighted? Rib cage, settled, nice level mid-back. Pelvis, maybe even feel like it's settling or sinking into the ground. Hamstrings, calves, and heels. How do they feel? If one foot is turned out a lot and the other foot isn't, you're taking the pelvis and you're rolling it out, you as in your muscles are, and that's putting your hips at a lot of torsion. So you've got a lot of effect then on the knee and the hip and possibly the opposite or same shoulder. So aligning those hips and getting that pelvis and those femurs to work well inside the pelvis can really affect change up or below that hip line. Nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale. We're going to do one more movement, and it's going to be on our complete upper body. So we're going to move the head. So I'm going to take my hand behind my head, take the roller underneath my hairline. If you've got your hair in the way, just move it out of the way. And I want the roller really at the base, so the bottom of the roller at the base of my neck. I want to start with my nose mostly pointed towards the sky, feet are relaxed, lower body is settled. And I want to just draw my chin towards my sternum. But in effect, what I'm doing is lengthening my neck. And then I lift my chin up, and if I need to move the roller a little bit higher, do so. Draw my chin towards my sternum. And I'm not just bringing my forehead to my navel. I'm trying to elongate, make space between my ear and my shoulder. Almost as someone is pulling your neck or your head away from your shoulder. But remember, it's always tolerable pressure. Good, nice and long. You can turn the head into the same thing, so it's more angled. Remember, any way your head, if you don't have access to some movement in your neck, then your body's holding yourself stiff or still in some position. Bring your head center. You can turn your head to the other side. You want to have good range of motion in that neck, especially if we live on the computer or the phone or anything like that, or even if you just are an avid reader. You can have your head down a lot, and that can create a lot of forward head and neck. And so the weight of your body is over your hips, in front of your hips, instead of settled back, ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. A couple more. Nice and easy. Elongate. One more, and then hold up. And then we're just moving the head. I've pinned the skin into the roller, and I'm just moving my head. It's a small motion. So it's like the skin is moving underneath my hair, above the skull. And then pause. Take your hand behind your head, take the roller out from underneath you, and then let's go and recheck our baseline again. Just a nice little reassess. Exhale. Since we started at the head, let's finish there. Notice the weight of your head. Maybe it's behind your nose a little bit more evenly. How about that neck? Does it feel a little bit more plump and opened up? Maybe those vertebrae don't feel so compressed. Shoulders to the arms, if they feel weighted evenly into the ground. And if you don't notice all of these things, it feels similar or the same, don't deny that your body has made some changes. It's okay that you don't notice everything that I'm offering or everything that I'm describing, but allow yourself to notice ease, a sense of balance, or a sense of grounding that's different than possibly even before. How's your rib cage? A little bit lower, not quite as lifted, and even into your pelvis, hamstrings, calves, and heels. How does that weight feel balanced across the back line of the body? Let's divide that body back into 2 even parts and notice if the sides feel a little bit more even and less maybe weighted to one side or the other or longer than the other. How are those feet turned out? Do those feet feel evenly turned out or a little bit more evenly turned out? Now remember, what our perception is how our body sees us more on the inside than what we naturally see with our eyes on the outside. Take a deep breath. We're going to go back to 2 rounds of that 4, 7, 8. Inhale for 4. Hold. Exhale for 8. Again, inhale for 4. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Slide your feet in so your shins are vertical. Exhale again. Roll off to one side and bring yourself up. Now go about your day. Make sure that you drink plenty of water today when we move those tissues, just like a hands-on massage. You want to rehydrate the tissue. And you're going to notice that your body's going to bring in water and hold that hydration into your body. And you may feel thirstier today than you normally do. Just keep drinking some water. If you want to structure the water, do so. Put a little bit of lemon, some lime in, maybe a tad of some Himalayan or Celtic salt, and give yourself the opportunity to just feel better. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.